Hello, Dan.
Yeah, hi Bill, how you doing?
I think
Sorry,
we're
I was
having
dozing over here.
we're having the same problems again. Here we go.
What's going on?
Ah,
Uh-oh, here we are. Is that better? Test?
I'm froze. Let's try this. Oh, I got nothing.
Reboot.
Nah, leave it up.
Jeez,
Leave it up. We'll use the one camera. You can just move it over.
Sure,
That's
I've been working on the iPod, on an iPad today, driving me crazy. The lady doesn't know anything
There you
about
go, Dan.
it. Are we
So,
live?
yeah, we're live.
We are?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
For
over
some
the
reason,
top.
my camera keeps freezing. It's been doing that all day.
Want to try unplug it and plug it again?
No, I tried that. That don't work either.
Shut it down?
I gotta shut the whole thing down, so
Oh
forget it.
boy, no, we don't want that.
Anyway, Dan, we'll just leave you up, and if I have to, I can come in like this. Hi, Dan.
Oh jeez, oh here he comes, oh my god! I don't mind.
So, welcome everyone.
Hi.
Sorry about our little banter back and forth. We're having technical difficulties as usual.
No. He's having technical difficulties. I just sit here with my tea and my notes. And I'm fine.
So, a couple of topics today.
Uh-oh.
First one is, evidently there's been quite a bit of chatter about nicknames that we've used on the podcasts. And I want to tell you all something. Those nicknames are not generated here. They are generated out of comments we receive about our podcast. So anybody that was wondering about how they'd get a nickname if they think it's theirs, that came from the community you live in,
Yeah.
not from this podcast. We just used them because we
Yeah.
thought they were cute.
We had to sign a non-disclosure act, and they put that
Yeah.
list in a safe like the chef's recipe. Nobody can get it. It's like the Coca-Cola secret.
Yeah. So what did you had some AI stuff on that, right? On
Oh my gosh, and, some of the nicknames, when you think about nicknames, and of course, someone gave me the Irish Elf, I think, and I didn't mind. So I consider whenever I hear it, I say, oh yeah, that's me,
Yeah.
But it's just a short and modified version of a person's name, or, this is the key, a descriptive name giving to a place or a thing. They're often used to show affection or familiarity. So in some cases, they may not be affection. Somebody would come up to you and say, hey, you remind me of the Wicked Witch of the West, or something like that. Of course, you might find offensive to that, but, it's just meant, grammatically. It's not like, oh, well, you remind me because you look like her, or something like that.
right.
All kinds of nicknames like Bill for Williams, Dan for Daniel, things like that. And sometimes they're expressing playfulness or even contempt. Contempt in a lot of cases, I'm sure, might apply to some of these. But hey, folks, if there is a nickname that you think belongs to you, you wear it proudly. We don't mind at all. And if somebody's telling you that it belongs to them, I definitely wouldn't believe much of anybody what they say because it's not really necessarily true. So be careful of that. I wouldn't want somebody calling me craphead or whatever. So, yeah, so nicknames are just that. Please don't take offense to them. And if you are offended by it, try changing. Maybe there's something to the truth of what they call you.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean,
We don't do anything on here to offend
You know?
anybody. This is just information only. And it's the information we get that we like to pass on.
I was
That's all.
over in my side of the park today, the south side. And both sides of our park have tire air hoses, air compressors to give you some air. One of my neighbors grabbed me and said, hey, can you do me a favor? Put some air in my tires. I said, sure, no problem. So I jumped around the corner, sat right on the ground, and what's her name? And the gal's name is Kim. She lives up here. And she pulled up, she wanted to look at something in the bazaar that we have. And she right away, she come up and saw me filling air in the tire for this other gal. And she said, oh my gosh, isn't this just the nicest man this park has? I was thinking, of course, she's going to give me a nickname. I'm never going to live it down. So I told her, I said, don't be starting that stuff. You're spreading rumors. Think everybody will start thinking I like them. But I do. I'll help anybody out. I was out of the park today helping a gal who lives in the park, sister who lives outside the park, who's very challenged. She has a new iPad. She needed some help. It's only 5 minutes away. No problem. I went down there and helped her out. It's the kind of guy I am. And you know that.
I tell you, Dan, I'll tell you. So,
We lost everything, didn't we?
no, we didn't. You're still going strong, but see, it'll bring me back, and let's see what happens now.
There you are.
Hello. Yep, as soon as I click it, it goes, it
Now, I
stops.
wonder if it's the software that's freezing or the camera itself.
It could just be it's not the software, I think it's maybe the memory.
Huh.
So, anyway, hi Dan.
Hi, Bill. And it doesn't freeze when it comes to me because, so it's definitely going to be related to the camera.
Yeah, it's probably, you know what it is, this one was up first,
Well,
so
port. Yeah.
it's just not enough memory probably to run both of them.
Well, we could call this a test and start over if you want. You know my phone number. Everybody in the park knows it. Give me a call if you want to talk about nicknames. We'll try redoing a reboot, or you can just call right in the middle of the show. We'd love to hear from you. Give us
Sure.
a call.
Sure.
It's
you
not
guys-
live, but we're thinking about it.
Well, if they call and we're up
Yeah.
right now,
Almost every Tuesday at 2 p.m. we record these. Okay. Sometimes we change the date, but it's always 2 o'clock. Almost always on Tuesday. You've got my number. If you wanted to call in and ask a question, or give me some insight, or even maybe pick a nickname for yourself, that's fine because we don't share the nicknames. In other words, we don't say. We used to have somebody in the park. She used to be on the board of directors. You all know her well. She's now moved out of the park because of all the grief she got. We gave her a nickname called the accountant. Well, I should say somebody gave her the nickname when they asked me to go ahead and refer to her as that. And she had no problem with that. She loved it because she is a CPA, so
Yeah.
we call her an accountant. I won't tell you her name because we're not going to divulge people's names that are tagged to these. But if you want to know, all you got to do is come to our podcast. We'll
Yeah.
give you a little hint.
yeah, but not only CPA, she's a CPA in Florida.
Yeah.
Not like we've had some legal opinions here from lawyers that aren't
Wasn't she the one that wanted to shut
on the
down?
board in Florida.
Wasn't she the one that wanted to shut down the golf course?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's kind of the word that went around when she asked a lot of questions about the golf course. And of course, if you are listening to this podcast, whether you're a golfer or not, I think the biggest conflict with golfers in our community is you're getting the deal of a lifetime and you're afraid of losing that price. Simple as that. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that every day, and I'll tell you that to your face if you want.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
paying half the price of what you should be paying.
They're paying less than half because
Google it. Google it. A 9-hole golf course membership in this country starts at $1,000 and goes to $5,000 anywhere in between.
yeah,
Ours is half price. Come on and join.
yeah, yeah.
It's a good
well,
deal.
they claim it's a 5-star 9-hole golf course.
Well, it might
so
be. I
it'd be
don't play
should be
anymore.
considered more expensive than that too.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If it's the best
Yeah.
golf course around, for sure.
Well, that's what they claim it is, and
I just don't understand the numbers of that bill. Okay,
yeah,
when you brag about, oh, I got $4 in my pocket, and I'm gaining another $2 from Bill's candy that he's going to buy or sell for me while I'm here. So that's $6 I got. But I have to pay Bill $10 to come to this podcast. Don't you think I'm losing money here? Come on, it's the same thing, you know?
yeah.
It's basic math.
Yeah.
You pay so many dollars to a man who maintains the golf course, you only collect about 3/4 of that amount. Who's picking up the rest of the tab? You and me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's not paying for everything either.
No, of course
That's
not.
just paying him to cut the grass,
That's it.
and
Then he goes and buys grass seed or whatever else.
whatever
he needs.
else. Right now, they're in the process, I understand, of refitting the irrigation. So we're paying for all that material, but it doesn't show in our financials. It's shown under operating or maintenance, and it's ridiculous.
This is something I want to share.
Bring it closer to the camera.
I'm going to show you guys.
Oh, not too close. Not too close. Never mind.
This is kind of interesting that anybody who sees this or has a copy of this is our internal newsletter, if you will, or monthly magazine that we have that gets printed about all the information about our park. And this sheet that I am holding is a copy of our elected board members. They show the 4 board members that were elected as a 3-year term, a 3-year term, a 3-year term, and a 1-year term. Those are the 4. I won't state any names, you don't have to. And then down below that, they actually list the 8 candidates that ran in our park, and each one of those listed by how many votes they have. Well, guess what? It surely doesn't match the one up above. It's totally wrong. I'm like, and the first thing they did, within an hour after this landed, because I'm actually the person in my park that distributes these to my block captains. These landed in my driveway yesterday. My brother helped me distribute them in his golf cart to take them out to our captains this morning. And in the meantime, the office, our editor, everybody under the sun was calling, texting, knocking on my door, whatever, saying, "Don't send those out. They're wrong." Well, what's really wrong? Is it wrong that you printed it this way, or is it wrong the tally that you actually really had? That's a great question for anybody who lives in this park. Ask yourself that. As a matter of fact, this Friday, we're going to go down to the office at our park at 11 a.m. If you're around, come on down. We'd love to see you and find out what's going on with these numbers.
Yeah, because there was a request put in right away this morning after that came out with that huge discrepancy that we wanted an accounting of the election done this afternoon at 3 o'clock, and they put us off. They did this last year also when we asked to view all the election materials, and they put us off a few days, right? That we can't do it right away, and they give us all these excuses, right? He said, well, the Florida state statute says that we have 10 days to produce it. He says, give me a break. How much tampering can be done? I mean, it just, it begs those questions again, because she says, oh, I got somebody out today. We can't do it today. Excuse me, this is an important issue.
You got that right.
And I even said to them, we want to see them before anybody else has a chance to do anything with them. And still put us off, standing on the Florida statute. I said, they do this all the time. And like I said, it just really, really puts a shadow over the whole event on what's going on here.
It brings you questions. It's no different than last year where you had a ballot box in the lobby on a table. People come in, drop their ballot in there, drop their ballot. And we had them on camera at one time going in there from the office, the management company, taking ballots out. Now, of course, this way we've always done it. They're only doing this half of it, or they only did the A letters, or they only did the ones that had Z in their name, or whatever their excuses were. You should not be in the ballot box.
Right.
Period.
Right. So
We have proof of it. Guess what they did? They removed the camera.
Yeah.
Within an hour.
Yeah. They talk about the Florida statutes too, and we're told we don't have to follow those statutes. Excuse me, there's the Florida State Statute 720 for HOAs. I do believe we're an HOA.
Yep.
Right? We may be other things, corporations or whatever, but we're an HOA. We're a homeowners association.
I believe there's.
That's what this board of directors is elected to.
I believe there's pieces of 718 and 720, which we are sandwiched in between.
Right.
Have some particular instances that apply to us.
Yeah.
Read them.
So in the meantime.
And congratulations to the professor. I heard he won, according to this.
Yes.
You know who you are.
Yeah. And, but, this is just stuff we're putting out there to the people, I mean, these results that are sitting here are definitely more in line on what we thought would happen this year than what did happen.
Yeah.
Statistically, their platform won straight out both years in a row. I mean, nobody on the other side won even one position.
One of the most controversial board members in this park, who has actually just signed up for his 10th, 11th, and 12th year, because it's a 3-year term, he's got a lot of controversial issues under his belt. Some people seem to love him. According to the results that they published, he took second place out of the 8 candidates. But according to these numbers, he was third from the bottom. What's the true number?
Yeah. They said it was a mistake. It was done, it was a mistake made in the spreadsheet. That should have been caught before it was printed.
Yep.
Well,
I think they're going to want to do that next time. As a matter of fact, our editor said that I think they're going to go through some kind of proofing before.
Well, she should be proofing it to begin with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what an editor is for.
Yep.
To make sure it is correct before it goes out. But then again, our editor, like the rest of these people that are elected or appointed here in this community, are as lazy as they come.
We got a board meeting tomorrow, huh?
Committee meeting. That's for committees
Oh,
only.
that's the committees, that's right. People have asked me about that. How do you get on a committee in our park?
I can't go to it either. I have to be at a director's certification thing
that's
all
right.
day tomorrow.
What, did you want to get on a committee this year?
I'd love to. I'd love to be on building and grounds.
Again? No way.
Well, there's a few issues I have issues with, so especially them spending our money the way they are.
Well, I mean,
fruitless and frivolous.
You did a lot
Projects.
of work on that on that building's ground. One of the most thankful jobs and things that you did was all the time and effort you put into the ditch problem.
Oh, yeah, and what did
Well,
they do with
haven't-
it?
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they actually had somebody this year, that they went down there, they dredged that pond, they cleaned it up, they did a great job, they put a lot of money into it. And I went by to see him after it was done and said, hey, could you come with me? I want to take you down here and show you this ditch that leads into that pond you just spent all that money on. Is there anything we can do about it? And he didn't know anything about it. And of course, when he went back to the building committee with it, he took that information to him, and I talked about, the first thing they said, this cracked me right up. The first thing they said was, we need all the information about this problem. I was thinking, didn't he get all that information?
Yeah.
Who owned the land, who, yada, 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 yada.
They did the record search and
Yeah.
everything else. And,
You had it all.
you know,
And
they
yet-
tell me you need a survey. What do you need a survey for?
Yeah.
It's on the plats of the property.
This-
Who's responsible for what?
This water erodes in the back of these people's yards to the point where it's lapping up against some air conditioners.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear it.
No.
So I don't know what, I'm kind of, in my park here, I'm done fighting the whatever you want to call him, the man, if you will. I'm done fighting it. You know, you in our park, if you call me personally or via somebody else, hey, call Bill and call Dan, I will gladly come by and help you with anything I can. If I know how to do it, if I don't, I'll find somebody and give you the information. But I am done putting myself out there for this committees, boards, anything.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is doing it, nobody else cares about it, and the people who are doing it are just doing it for their own satisfaction.
I mean, there's no reason to doubt that the election results are not right, okay? I mean, this raises a lot of
It
questions.
should be a big question, even
Yeah.
if the first four numbers you gave and
Yeah.
names are right, absolutely, but
Yeah.
it raises questions.
Yeah, but even that, you try to get them to do things in this community, and they say we don't have the money. But all of a sudden, last month they found $300,000 to spend on a solar project.
Yeah.
So what do you mean we don't have the money? It's just their own little pet projects.
Well, some people say that we had hard feelings, or it's because we're not on the right side of it, or whatever. But
That's not
you
it.
know,
We're on the
when-
side of the community.
Exactly. Always has been, always will be. When you have a board member that, like I said, is already going back into his 10th, 11th, 12th year, I don't have to mention his name, you all know who I'm talking about. When he gets out there, years ago, he was the president of the board, $24,000, buy a truck. Oh, I don't need approval? He spent the money on his own. Why would you want to vote him back in again? He also spent $75,000 on a problem where the road is caving in. Well, guess what? You dug it up twice, and it's still caving in. But you spent that $75,000. You spent $15,000 on redoing lights in our clubhouse. All LED, all nice of this stuff. Oh, they look lovely. We're going to save some money. Let's put some dimmers in there. What? The dimmers, turn them on, you turn them on. It's like being back in the 70s. Like, flashing light. You can't even use them. So you cannot, they have to actually tape them over so that people don't turn them on. Otherwise, everybody would have vertigo and be going crazy.
Yeah.
$15,000.
That's
You
only
wasted it.
It's because they didn't put the right.
Could have spent less than $1,000.
They
yeah.
didn't put the right fixtures in that
No,
could be
I just-
dimmed. They
you
weren't
know,
dimmables.
These are some of the things when people say, well, why don't you like him? I actually like him. I like this person. I think he's a nice guy. I like his wife. But I think you're making choices that don't always work out. You're making choices for the wrong reason. And now we're going to spend $300,000 on solar.
Yeah.
That's a real, and my HOA fee might go up over $250 this year, per month. That's a 75% increase. You people are crazy. You could have done a better job of this 15 years ago when the lease came out. You should have negotiated a little bit better, been a little bit smarter, put a little bit aside to help people out at the end of it. There's people in this park, they're going to go broke.
I don't know. For some reason, I think that's what they want. They're letting the park run down.
This 70. Well, you know what? Somebody mentioned this earlier today, and I bet you this is a thing. Okay, you have a lot of snowbirds that live in our park. They come down here. They and a lot of them have sold lately. Okay, so I sell my house, and I go back to wherever I am, New York, Canada, doesn't matter, Ohio. You pick a state, country, whatever. And I go back and I spend my time up there. Now I want to come back down again when the season changes. What am I going to do? I'm going to rent. So I reach out to a few friends. Hey, you got a rent? Oh yeah. Oh, so you find me a rental? I do. So now this is something that somebody brought up, and I thought this was a very interesting point.
I saw it. Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Driving down the price of our homes so that you can come back in here in 5 years and buy it at a cheaper rate. Boy, I sure hope that's not what's happening. Oh boy, how low could you go? But
And then they, of course, they do this, and they want to come in and just rent for 3 months,
yeah,
right after they've sold their home.
I wouldn't
And
mind.
then they want to have a voice. Mm-hmm. Renters in this community have no voice.
That's the biggest thing.
You know, they think they do because they were past members.
We give you a
But they don't.
courtesy. We give you a courtesy to be on the Facebook pages and things like that
Yeah.
because they belong to people who created them. Well, boy, I'll tell you what. If I was in charge and some of you the way you mouthed off, I'd be
Yeah.
shutting you down and turning you off in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
I think it's time to just shut them off. I really do.
Well, I mean, the
because-
message board they did it. I hate to do that, though.
Yeah.
I really do. I like to see what people have to say, whether I like
Yeah.
it or not.
Yeah.
You know.
But they're
I-
the ones that start the most of the
Well,
controversy.
what I don't like is when you get some, I don't know what you want to call them, calling other people idiots.
Yeah.
You know, you had
Oh,
one out
yeah.
there that was calling you an idiot.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
stop
Well, that's
it.
the third
What
grade.
makes you think you're
You
so
know.
much better?
That's all the third graders in this
That's all it
community.
is.
That's all it is. You know.
is.
And
I've heard you've been called a bully sometimes. Is that true?
oh, I've been called it, yes, but it's not true. No,
Oh, okay.
no. They don't. They call me a bully because I ask questions, and I want answers.
He's never bullied me.
No.
Actually, he doesn't even have to twist my arm to come down here and talk about things. I don't mind that at all. I love sharing stuff. Sharing
Yes.
what I know,
Yeah.
what I can do for you, how I can help you, you know. Believe it or
One
not.
other. Go ahead, Dan.
No, that's fine. Believe it or not, it's true.
I have one other thing I want to add, and we're going to end because
Yeah.
we're running long, and I could tell everybody my attention span is dead after 20 minutes. So, but one last thought I want to leave with everybody, and we'll bring it up again next podcast, is the sanitation area in this
Ooh,
community.
yeah.
Let me just point out a few things. They said we were understaffed, and they didn't have anybody to keep an eye on things, so they cut our sanitation hours to like nothing. We used to be open 6 days a week, pretty much 7, 8 hours a day. Now they got us to 3 days a week, 3 hours of those 3 days. And it's ridiculous, you know. We used to be able to go down there and take care of our trash, whatever we wanted to do. You know, they pick it up once a week, and they pick up recycle once a week. But, you know, there's other times when you have other trash, you know. And but now they've been touted this at the board meeting at the end of the year about how they got us fully staffed now. We spent a fortune.
That's across my house
Yeah.
as I left.
There's a picture we need to put up the next time we're on.
They did not pick up all the trash.
Yeah.
I carried out probably close to 30. I carried them out this morning at 7
Yeah.
o'clock. Almost 30 bags of trash.
And they left
Because
them.
my neighbors have pretty much done with the house, gonna close it down, gonna sell it. And he had all these bags of trash they
Yeah.
left there. I put them out, and we left them there. It's like,
They went right past it.
everybody else on my street's gone. Everybody else in the street, but that's sitting right there. No, maybe they'll come back with another cart and pick it up separately, you know. And I know they're not going to break you back because I carried them out there. 30
But,
bags of trash.
But my final thought on that is that, you know, they touted that they've got this sanitation area. They spent all this money to take care of dumpsters and this and that, put fencing up and that. And they got us back to maintenance. Is that full staff again? But they haven't done anything about the hours at sanitation.
You know?
I'd like to know who approved the change to begin with it, because I do believe it's in our rules and regs or our prospectus.
Probably the same guy that put an RV.
The hours operation down there.
It's probably the same guy that wanted to do an RV expansion down there, and all those empty slots are still sitting there.
Yeah, yeah. Did you notice they cut back the budget for next year? What
Yeah.
they're planning on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dan. Let's end this.
It was nice talking to you all. Come on, give me
Yeah.
some feedback. Tell me what you want.
Goodbye, Dan.
I wasn't going to
care.
really kiss him.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.